Hi everyone, this is Ulysses Vega, broker owner with C21 The Vega team, and I'm going to be here with Tom Ferry, the coach of the Stars. Tom, how is the market? One of the things that I'm always asked the most is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? What's happening?
Well, if you read the headlines, you would be terrified. But I want to remind everybody that headlines do more to terrify than they actually do to clarify. I read one recently that said, REOs and bank-owned properties have spiked by 100%. So it went from 1 to 2, right? So we need to be clear on the data. You always need to go deeper in the article. I think the most important thing that people want to know right now is, what's going to happen to the value of my home, right? Because anytime you start thinking about inflation or a recession or potential challenges in the economy, it's so easy for us to slip back to 2007, 8, 9, 10 during that global economic meltdown. Well, we've been through actually 10 recessions in the last 20 years. And there's no doubt we're headed towards another one because of all the things that are happening. But back to what's going to happen to home prices. There's two things you need to study. First thing is, look at the number of millennials in the marketplace right now. It's the single largest cohort of Americans today between 22 and 42. And generally speaking, what do people in their 20s and 30s do? They get out of college, maybe they start their career, maybe they start a family, and eventually they buy a house, right? So we know that market is bigger today than even the baby boomers. So they're going to keep the momentum of the real estate market moving in our favor, regardless of interest rates, because the data's already shown they'll buy at 5, they'll buy at 5.25, etc. The second thing you need to pay attention to, and you can Google this, is the Home Price Appreciation Index. So every month, and then overall, they do an exhaustive study of all the best economists in real estate. They look at the entire housing industry, they look at all the factors that impact housing, supply chain, and everything else, and they make a forecast, in many cases, as far as 6 years out. So the most recent study, so they know about inflation, they knew about the Fed spiking the interest rates 3 times this year, they also knew about supply chains, and yet they came out and just said, if you bought a home for $350,000 in 2022, in the next 6 years, that home will gain $96,000 in appreciation.
Unbelievable.
And again, that's a national number. So you have to look at your local marketplace and look at supply and demand. So I know, for example, in Dallas, Texas, home prices just in the last 12 months have gone up by 20%. So they have a very moderate increase over the next 6 years, and they know all the factors. So when people say, how's the market? My answer is, this is the time to be buying a home, right? If you own a home today, this is the time to fix up your home and consider, is now the time for you to move a little closer where you want to be. Because then you've probably built up so much equity in that property, so then you can be with a consultant, someone that can actually talk through all the scenarios and then make a good decision.
Someone like the Vega team.
Someone like yourself, my friend. So that's a fast version of how the market is, and you can Google everything we just talked about.
And that's a wrap. Bye everybody.